Hello my friends, this is B1 from Deadza Gaming, and we're going to have a look at Dead Island Riptide. Dead Island Riptide is the second one in the Dead Island series. Personally, I love this game. It's actually got a really realistic feel to it, minus the zombies. If ever that actually happens, then, you know, this game is closest to it you can get. This game is set directly after the first game, and I've got to say, they've done a really good job with it. The game itself looks absolutely gorgeous, as you can see now. You can see into the distance. The sound effects are fantastic as well. Visuals brilliant. When the zombies are screaming and shouting at you, you actually feel, you know, frightened. You know, it actually gets to you, especially if you've got low health and you know an infected is coming after you or not. So as you can see, the game doesn't actually look much different from the first Dead Island. That zombie just went down there that slide and he's coming to kick my arse. This is actually an infected with a venom ability on, which means that as he hits me, he's infected. He can infect me with a poison attack. He's also very, very, very tall as well, so he's kind of like an infected mixed with a thug. Obviously, you have your normal infected as well, your walkers, which are pretty easy to kill. It's essentially, as you level up, you just kick them over and deal with them like so. The thing about this game, there is 5 characters to play as now. You play as Perna, who's the firearms expert. You play as Xian, the Chinese lady from the first game. She's still a blades expert, and a lot of people say she's the best character. Because at the end of the game, she's unstoppable. You actually have Sam B, who's the rapper who did "Who Do You Voodoo," which is actually one of my favourite songs. It was my ringtone for a while on my iPhone. You know, I personally love that song, and any horrorcore rap as well. You have Logan, who's an American football player, which, you know, is pretty cool. He's an expert in throwing weapons. Sam B is an expert in blunt weaponry, such as sledgehammers and baseball bats. Thrown weapons are things like boomerangs, throwing knives, throwing stars, that kind of stuff, which is Logan's speciality. And then you have a new character who I am playing as, called John. John's abilities are melee attacks. So he actually does a lot more damage either when he's unarmed or if he's equipped with claws or brass knuckles, knuckle dusters, and other various items. So obviously the game follows the very similar loot system to the first game. It has white weapons as a basis, and then as you basically go through the game, you unlock different coloured weapons for, you know.
I'm losing it here.
As time goes on, you gain new abilities, new weaponry that are a different colour and the different colour weaponry is different rarities. If you play MMO games, you'll be very familiar with this system. It works really well, and obviously orange weapons are usually the best. I'm actually playing as a level 70 character, hence why I'm not dying as easy and my life's coming back as quick as it is, and I'm killing enemies as fast as I am. The only issue I can see with this game, really, other than it does have a hell of a lot of glitches. This comes to spawn glitches with characters, checkpoint glitches in the game where you can complete a whole mission, save halfway through, and then the game will reset, so you have to do the whole mission again. These are glitches that were in the first game, and unfortunately they have came back in the second game. This may have to be something with Deep Silver, who are the makers of the game, actually using the same engine as Dead Island 1, which is a bit, you know, lazy, I have to admit. That's what my honest opinion. And in the end, it actually ruins the game because it leaves the game open for modders and hackers who can actually join your game with things such as God mode, and also bring in weaponry that they can actually edit on the computer, which is a shame. As you can probably see in my inventory, I've actually one of my friends, his name is Wayne, and he actually is on a channel, Let's Play Cat Gaming, has actually given me some various weaponry. And just as an example, so this pistol, it's an M9 Beretta. If I hold the trigger, fires a ridiculous amount of ammo in a small amount of time, and you can essentially shred enemies with it. This actually ruins the game in a sense because, you know, you can essentially, someone can dupe these weapons for you, and the game is open for exploitation, as I could join a person's game and use the ongoing quests to level up to level 70, and then use weaponry. You know, that makes the game so easy that it actually takes the enjoyment out of it. It also, if your game isn't set to private, you can actually have people join your game, use a certain weapon, and basically ruin your experience if you're playing it, you know, like how I would initially. I actually thought the storyline was a huge improvement, and the NPCs were a huge improvement as well. They actually felt like you wanted to care about them. The only issue is they weren't as good as NPCs in other games. They were better than Dead Island 1's NPCs, but they weren't as good as, say, other games. This can be overlooked as the gameplay is actually improved a lot. The combat is better, your weapons actually last a lot longer with durability, and you know, you can actually enjoy the game for what it is, rather than constantly worrying, where's my next repair bench because my weapon has broke for the 8th time in 5 minutes. Obviously you're seeing a lot of infected here. I'm a fully leveled character. Obviously John gets this ability to big boot enemies, which is quite funny, and to also uppercut them. For some reason his uppercut ability electrocutes enemies. From what I know, all the characters are specifically tuned to a various fighting style for their specialised weaponry, but you can also say, if I use blunt weapons a lot, my actual weapons in blunts, my abilities in blunt skill weaponry will increase as well. This means that you're not always tied to one type of weapon. Obviously pick your character depending on the type of weapon style, or the character that you feel, you know, you'll enjoy the most. Obviously some zombies carry weaponry, such as this lady here just stabbed me with a knife. They do a little bit of extra damage. I actually think it's nice to actually see enemy zombies using, you know, basic weaponry. I've actually turned all the hood off for,
it's a little too quiet around
for the enemies. Say when I hit them, no numbers are coming up, and they actually have no health bars. I actually find this immerses you in the game a bit more, as the only way you know the zombies are dead is if they lie down and stay down. I personally love the fact that you have the option to do that, rather than it put that in the game for you all the time and not give you a choice to turn it off. So if I click on a workbench, I'm going to show you, you actually have various different weaponry. Obviously some of the weapons are legendary weapons. They're weapons that have been hacked into the game. These are by people who have previously hacked the game before. This I advise against, as you know, it kind of does ruin the game sometimes. But I have no issue using the weapons myself, and if you actually use the weapons yourself, if you've finished the game once already, then fine. But if you are playing on your first playthrough, I can strongly suggest that you stick to the weapons and you progressively build up your weapons throughout the game and enjoy the game for what it actually is. So you have repair weaponry. You need to repair your weaponry before you can upgrade them. Obviously as you upgrade the different weapons, you know, they do more damage, the DPS is better, the force and the durability. DPS, damage per second, every time you hit the enemy, that's how much damage they do. Force is the ability to knock the enemy down, and durability is how long it takes for the weapons to actually break. Like I said earlier, the weapons in this game don't break as easy as they did in the first one, so that means that you can stay in the fight longer, and you're not always worrying where your next workbench is. Although that doesn't actually take away from the immersiveness of the game, and sometimes you do end up with your weapon breaking, and you know, it adds to the whole survival horror aspect. Again, they have blueprints in this game. You find blueprints through just exploration and through missions. I've currently got this amount at the moment. I've got Nailed, Paralysing Strike, Venom, loads of others. These all add different abilities to your weaponry, like lightning, poison and fire, and they actually make your weapon change aesthetically as well, which is also quite nice. It's quite fun, and it's so funny seeing somebody appear in your game with a weapon called the barbecue blade that has sausage cocktail sticks on the end of the weapon, and they're just burning zombies with it. It's a good laugh, it's a good fun, and you know, all the parts can be found in the game, so it's quite nice. I'm going to click Diamond Edge mod, and I'm going to put it on Gabriel's Sledgehammer. So I'm going to equip my Gabriel Sledgehammer. So now it has a Diamond Edge mod. So for some reason there's wires and there's some like C4 or something on it at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll find an enemy and we'll introduce this sledgehammer to its head and see what the total effect is. Obviously them zombies are looking up there. I don't know why. What we're going to do is we're going to kick him and then we're going to... Okay, so from what I can tell, it's still acting like very like a normal sledgehammer. As far as I can tell, the damage may have gone up, as I'm one-shotting enemies now rather than hitting them normally. As you can see right now, like I said, the aesthetics of this game are absolutely beautiful. They actually capture the whole zombie apocalypse thing really well. I'm just really looking forward to seeing what they do with Dead World, which is... Deep Silver actually procured the title name for Dead World. I'm not actually saying that that will be confirmed as the next game's title, but it most likely is if they have brought the rights for that name. I just hope that if they make a new game, they improve various parts such as the game engine and the graphics are beautiful anyway, but get rid of all the glitches and basically refine the little bits that can get really annoying, such as random spawning of vehicles. Sometimes vehicles don't actually appear in the places they're supposed to, and like a couple of times on co-op there has been invisible vehicles, there's been invisible boats, invisible cars, and even some of the items that you have to use for the missions are invisible. The checkpoint glitch is really annoying. Obviously there's some escape convicts here as well. I'm not too big a fan on this game with the weapon mechanics. I think if they're going to use the weapon mechanics, use something a bit better than what they're actually using now. As I can show you, it doesn't seem, to aim properly, and the spread is way too high.
Hope you didn't come here to stir up some shit.
Obviously, again, this game's an 18. It's got a lot of language in it.
I need to go
and all that. So, it's all good fun.
No, we don't care. As long as you pay us what we want, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Again, like I said, language, violence, and a lot of gore in this. This game deserves an 18 and no less. The game itself is a lot of fun. If you loved the first Dead Island, you would love this one. And all I can say is...
We'll kill him!
Okay, so obviously, I've just got myself into a fight.
What's happening to me?
So now I'm in rage mode.
Every last one of you pricks!
They've introduced rage mode back from the first game.
I'm fucking unstoppable! This is the end of you!
So obviously this is a special part this is a certain part in the game. I'm not going to explain why, but I hope you guys, They've brought back rage mode, which is really cool. Each rage mode is slightly different. Like I'm playing as John, I equip a big stick and I actually just go to town on enemies.
Holy shit. What happened to me?
Which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me play this game. And I'm sorry if I've spoiled the game for you with my little spoiler. I didn't intend that to happen. But long story short, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to like and subscribe. And basically, if you want me to
rage, Kessler.
If you want me to do any reviews or playthroughs or let's plays or first looks in the future, then just pop it down in the comments. I can say Dead Island Riptide. If you love the first Dead Island and you love games such as Borderlands, this game is actually, for you. If you can look past the glitches, then it's actually a really good game. I wouldn't say it's flawless, and sometimes there is a bit of certain issues. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. If they fix the glitches, maybe an 8 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 as there are still some flaws, and I think it's really lazy for Deep Silver to reuse what they actually made in the first game and then not even use the completed first game transferred over, so they get rid of all the glitches and all the issues they had with the first one. It doesn't make sense, but Deep Silver, you've made 2 really decent games, and I hope that Dead World does as good as I hope it will. Anyway, guys, this is the end of the review. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching me play some Dead Island Riptide. And yeah, this is B1 signing out.
Troll it.